Initiating moisture.
The Invisible Man is perhaps the biggest surprise I've gotten in a movie theater since the time I nearly got a hand job during a movie. This movie I expected to be fucking terrible based on the trailers. The trailers basically spoil the entire movie. Whoever made those trailers needs to be fired. When you watch the trailer for Invisible Man, you're sitting down and watching an entire fucking movie basically, start, finish, twists and all. But somehow the Invisible Man is able to rise above the trailers and just be incredibly enjoyable, very clever writing. Elisabeth Moss, the lead, she absolutely fucking crushes it. She sells her performance super well and it's just a joy to watch. The whole movie, I just can't believe, is as good as it is. But I'm being serious. Fire that fucking dude that made the trailer. I don't know what intern you hired that day or, high school student put that together, but that was terrible. That's how you make a movie look like a joke before it comes out, because this is a movie people were making fun of based on that trailer, myself included. But it's a great movie, and I didn't know this going into it, but the same director behind Upgrade made this one, and that man is on fucking fire. That man is absolutely slapping ass. So I'm a big fan, and let's dive into Invisible Man here. So, obviously the message of the movie is abusive relationships constantly haunting you, no matter what. And you can see the damage throughout the entire movie on Elisabeth Moss for what she went through with her abusive ex, Adrian, who was a super genius, basically Jimmy Neutron. I will not be spoiling anything in this, but if you see the trailer, which I really advise you don't, you're going to be spoiled on a few things. This could be considered a minor spoiler, so forewarning. I really wish they didn't ever release that trailer because I would have loved the idea of not knowing whether or not Elisabeth Moss was crazy. In the trailer, they show you that it is truly an invisible man doing these things, but I really loved the idea of it being Elisabeth Moss doing these things thinking that it's still her abusive ex, which I think would have been really a clever way to play with the audience, and I feel like that's the vibe they wanted to hit, but the trailer ruined it because it shows you everything, which is a fucking shame. So I don't know if anyone's going to consider that a spoiler or not, considering it's the trailers, but regardless, it's a bit of a missed opportunity there. Anyway, though, it really does hit most of its marks. There's jump scares in here, as you'd expect, I guess. Even though I don't really think it's supposed to be a horror movie, they have these, really uncharacteristic jump scares, which is kind of cheap and a little lazy. Some, indie game developer jump scare level shit, which isn't really a bad thing, but it's just kind of asking yourself, well, why? Doesn't really do anything for it. He's still a menacing presence just knowing that he's there and seeing Elisabeth Moss react to knowing that he's there even though you can't see him. And I think they did a great job making Adrian's presence just truly evil. In a lot of horror movies, you'll have the invisible threat, but it's doing dumb shit like opening the refrigerator and taking a bite out of your apple, peeing in your toilet, ghost pee, who did that? That wasn't me. And then, that's kind of boring shit, but when Adrian's torturing Elisabeth, he does it in a really smart fashion, frames all of it on her so everyone thinks she's crazy, has her thinking she's crazy. It's just really well executed to make him this really powerful evil presence in her life and on screen. And I just really love the way the movie's written, to be honest. It's just really well put together. Towards the end, it gets a little silly, but it brings itself back for a fantastic conclusion. There is just a little bit of silliness towards the end where it starts pulling a bit out of the ass and you have to start suspending your disbelief in some of the shit they try and get out there. But even still, it wraps itself up beautifully and justifies that little bump in the road. So I really don't have a whole lot of complaints about the movie, to be honest. It's never boring at any point because, shit, even you as the audience member don't know what the fuck Adrian's gonna do because you don't see him. It's not like in, Halo 2 when you get the camouflage, you can still see the outline. You don't see him until Elisabeth Moss makes you see him. So you, as an audience member, are constantly wondering if Adrian's about to step in and do some crazy fucking shit. So I really just love the way they toyed with all of that. I really like the execution. And surprisingly, just a super solid movie. It really was. Plugging Invisible Man into the moist meter, I'm giving it a fat old 85%. It could have been a lot better if I'd never seen the trailer, or they just didn't use that fucking trailer in the first place. Because there was a whole lot more that could have been done with the idea of her being insane. And, the trailer ruined any possibility of that happening. That's about it. Good movie, big surprise, and big fan of the director. That's about it. So yeah.